Good morning. Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Hope you're all fit and well. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Good morning to Ken Hatcher, who's just walked through the door. Good morning to Mark Whiting. Let me press Mark's button as well. Mark Whiting is in the house. Dan Cullen is here. Gary Muirhead is here as well. Yes, Gary was actually here at 7:18 this morning. For reasons best known to himself. But good morning to all of you, gang. Thank you very much indeed for being here. And Gary Muirhead says, "Happy belated birthday, Freddie. Hope you had a great day." Yep, we had a half a round of golf. It was only a 9-hole, and it was good fun. Good fun. Nice weather, nice and warm. Not a particularly good performance by either of us, but it was good fun. And then we had dinner last night, which was good too. Thank you very much indeed for that, Gary. Ken Hatcher said, I thought no shows this week. No show tomorrow, no show Wednesday. I'm back on Thursday, no show Friday. And I'll come to that in just a moment. Dan Cullen says, bloody freezing here. It's quite cold here, but the sun's out, so it's not too bad. Now, as I've just explained to Ken, bit of a disjointed week coming up. As I say, here today, as you can quite clearly see, no show Tuesday, Wednesday, because I'll be in the Netherlands. Back on Thursday, and then father-in-law's funeral on Friday. But I'm planning to make it up to you. I am. I'm not just going to leave you bereft. First of all, you already know that next Wednesday evening, not this Wednesday, next Wednesday, 26th, we're going to be doing that. That's going to be our breakfast show after dark. But I've also injected another one. Here we are. Prefer that layout for that. There you are. On Sunday this week, it will be 2 years exactly, 2 years to the day since the Competition and Markets Authority handed down fines of almost £60 million. Ultimately, it was more than £60 million to 10 members of the National Federation of Demolition Contractors. I've been watching the fallout or the lack thereof for the past 2 years, and I thought it was about time that we went back and had a look at that, particularly in light of the fact that several of the companies involved in the CMA investigation have not only survived but thrived since. So, 10 o'clock, Sunday the 23rd, I will be doing that. We did an entire podcast series, so between now and then, do excuse me, if you would like to do some catching up, if you can't remember what the CMA thing was all about, just go over to Demolition News 1 on YouTube. You can watch the entire series, which took you up basically to the date that the fine was handed down. I'm now going to go back and look at what happened after the fines were handed down. It's going to be a live show as per usual. I'm going to pre-record at least part of it because I want to make sure it's absolutely hunky-dory. But yeah, we're going to be doing that on Sunday, the 23rd, 10 a.m. in the morning. Jim Turner is here as well. Good morning, Jim. Morning, peeps, he says. Yeah, just as I say, very quick reminder. Sunday the 23rd, we're doing that. Wednesday the 26th, we're doing that. No show tomorrow, no show Wednesday, no show Friday. I go to Tesco on a Sunday morning for a coffee. Take your mobile with you. We're broadcasting across all platforms as per usual. Frank over at Diacon Demo, all the way from Australia, all the way from a land down under. Has just joined us over on Instagram. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're fit and well. Just very quick reminder, I'm jetting off to the Netherlands today, and I've got a car picking me up at 11:30 today, so going to keep today's show nice and tight if we possibly can, but plenty of time to say good morning to our friend Mick, who has just arrived. And Gary Muirhead says, happy St. Paddy's Day to all our Irish friends, and to those that use St. Paddy's Day to claim some sort of Irish heritage so they can go out on the lash and get tanked up on Guinness. Not a lot happened after, as they are busy as ever. Yeah. One of the things I want to look at is, this is going back to the CMA thing. One of the things I want to look at is a lot of the collusion and the bid rigging and the price fixing and stuff, cover pricing, all took place. Not all of it, but a lot of it took place on government-funded projects. And I think it's 5 of the companies that were caught up in all of that mess are already back on a government framework, demolition framework run by the government. So they've basically mugged the government up, or mugged them off, and lo and behold, welcome back into its bosom. I'll tell you more about that on Sunday. So be here if you possibly can. Now, without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. I'm going to grudgingly show you what I've just had in from Mick. He says, "Got to say it, well done, the Geordie boys totally deserved the win." I think I caused that. I think I caused that. Obviously, Liverpool went into the Carabao Cup final yesterday. The hot favourites, no great surprise, they've been very good this year. And me and Fred were talking about it, and it was, I think it was 70 years since Newcastle had last won a trophy, and I said I'll be dead and buried before they win another one. 90 odd minutes later, they proved me wrong. There you are. I know nothing about football. Turns out I know even less about golf. Frank at Dark on Demonstration said, "Hello, everyone from the land down under." And he's even done a little picture of a kangaroo. Thank you for that, Frank. Hope you're having a good time, my friend. What is it? Be Monday night, wouldn't it? Monday night? Or was it Tuesday morning? Hard to say. Um, we'll come back to the question of the day in just a moment. We do have the small matter. No, let me do this in the right order. Trying to get myself out the door too quickly. It is Monday, the 17th of March. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony, the Walrus of Demolition and the Lord High Chancellor of live streaming. In today's show, a cat customer that takes pride in training people. Komatsu goes underground. We're going from steel plate to in the iron with Hydrema, and Liebherr touches the sky. Plus, in my morning monologue today, the construction world is divided into two types of people: those that celebrate and those that work. It'll make sense when we get there. At least I hope so. It did when I wrote it. Let's hope it still does when I actually get to reading it out. But before we get to all of that, here is the small matter of the mystery machine to resolve. I'm still in quite a lead in terms of the Mystery Machine, but I am very, very much catchable. Even though we've not got too many. Well, we've only got 2 shows this week, but I'm very much catchable. So let me just address something that's come up in the comments here. Gary Muirhead says, "Great weekend for football. Even the mighty Rangers beat Celtic in the Old Firm." Yeah, I was quite pleased about that. I don't. I've always had a very, very big soft spot um, for Real Madrid. I think it's the white kit that does it. Always like Real Madrid. Always been quite a fan of Juventus. You know, they're my Spanish and my Italian teams. When it comes to Scotland, always been a Rangers fan. I've no connection with them whatsoever. But you know, if it comes to the Old Firm derby, I'm Rangers all the way. Mystery Machine. Nothing gets sidetracked. Here we are. That's what we need you to identify. As ever, we are looking for a make and a model. This one's been around for a while. It's as far as I know, it's still a current model. It may have just slipped off the end of the conveyor belt, but it's one that you should all know. And apparently, it is early Monday evening in Perth. That's the Perth down under, not the Perth near where Gary is. Make and model on that machine, if you would be so kind. I've done nothing with the color. It is as God intended, as it were. Let me have your guesses. While you're doing that, I'm going to remind you very quickly of our question of the day. Yeah, our question of the day today comes as ever from our resident quizmaster, Mr. Gary Muirhead. And his question is this. He worded it slightly differently, but I needed to get it in that picture. So um, if you were forced to remove all but 3 apps on your phone, what would you keep? Now, I'm going with my online banking app because I like to check just how little money I actually have. I'm keeping Video Leap, which is how I do my video editing on the go. And even though I don't particularly like the app, I'm going with WhatsApp. It's probably the thing I use most to keep in touch with the family and, of course, with you lot as well. So I'm going the Halifax banking app, Video Leap, and WhatsApp. But what about you? If you only have 3 apps on your phone, what would you stick with? And I can tell you that Ken Hatcher has gone for Facebook, Bank, and Maps. Good answer. Good answer. Have to say, I'm not particularly good with maps. You know, I went up to the Institute of Demolition Engineers event was it last month? Yeah, last month, late last month. Got out the train station, looked at the map, and I thought, I don't want to be walking around holding it. I know roughly where I'm going. And it said I had a 9-minute walk, 9-minute walk to my hotel. That's fine. Nice brisk evening, no problem at all. didn't feel like I knew where I was going. So about, I don't know, 2 minutes later, I checked it again, and apparently I was now 14 minutes away from I'd been going in completely the wrong direction, completely misread the map, can't be trusted out on my own. Mick says, not staying long, just got the suit out of the cleaners, picked up a bit of shamrock and out on the piss all day. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to pronounce it. But Dan, that's aimed at you and to all of your Irish cousins as well. Wish I knew how to say that, but I'm not even going to take a wild stab. So back to the mystery machine. Let me take that out of the way. We've got Gary going for the Volvo L120. It is not one of those. Dan Cullen going for the Wacker Neuson dual view 6-tonner. It's not one of those either. Let me show you. There you are. That might help. Might not, but it might. See what we can come up with on that. In the meantime, it's time to crack on with the rest of the show. Yeah, I've got a new film from Caterpillar this morning, and this is about a customer, basically, that is taking pride in training, well, pretty much anyone, really. Have a look.
I take big pride in the fact that I take all of these kids that work for me, and I call them kids because the oldest guy that works for me is 31 years old. Okay, so they're all 10 years younger than me or more. And I love the fact that we can take any of them and make them something. There's 4 guys out here right now on the job that are working that 6 months ago didn't work here, didn't know nothing about what they're doing. The guy running the scraper coming by right now, he's only had 2 months of seat time. Would you notice that watching him? No, because we spend a lot of time with these guys teaching them how to run the equipment. I like all these kids that want to work hard and be something someday. I always tell them my old model is their boss, the owner of the company. I don't want to be boss. I want to be dad. I want to be someone that you know you can trust and you can work in and believe in, and I'm going to set the stage for you for that. And here's the deal. You go make us money, we'll make you money, because that's how it needs to be. I want all these boys to build a life, security, know what they got in front of them when it's coming. They know what's on our calendar. They know our agenda. They know where we're at. They even, most of them know financially where we're at, because they feel vested that, hey, if I break that, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, it's going to cost the company money, or it may not materialize into something good for us. So we've tried to build that whole culture with all these kids to make them understand that a company is very fluid, but it's also can be very devastating if you don't do things the right way. We're always looking for good people all the time, but we grow in small spurts. I'm not one of the guys that jumps in and I'm going to go get 10 people. And there's a lot of my competitors that will go put a hiring spree on because the work's there. They go, and then they lay a bunch of people off. I'm all about building family and building life.
Right. Come back to that fella in just a moment. We had this from Mick, who then explains it just basically means Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Just a greeting on this day, he says. Well, now we know. I probably should have guessed from the Irish spelling of Patrick, I guess. Fair play to that fella. Give the young uns a mount. Yeah. Also celebrating their achievements. Hold that thought, because that's pretty much the tone of my morning monologue today. Dan Cullen saying that is a proper firm. I totally agree. Chris Ford has just arrived saying, good morning, gentlemen and ladies. Happy St. Paddy's Day. Good morning to you, Chris, and happy St. Paddy's Day to you, whether or not you celebrate either way. No more guesses on the mystery machine, so let me throw it back up and show you a smidge more. There you are. Adelaide Plant just joined us over on Instagram as well. Any other people that I recognise there? Let's have a very quick look. George Washington has just joined us. I'm pretty sure it's not the George Washington, but hey, you're all welcome, regardless of whether you're the original or not. Keep the guesses coming in on that. We'll be right back after this.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
Yeah, we're going underground in just a moment with the fine folks at Komatsu. Well, in fact, we'll do it right now. Now, in answer to Gary Muirhead, are you working with Komatsu at Balmer? I'm delighted to say that yes, we are. Yes, we are. We've worked with Komatsu now. I think the last Balmer, the last Intermat, last Con Expo, and again, we also Mine Expo as well. So yeah, we've had a really good run with the fine folks at Komatsu. They look after us very well. I'd like to think we look after them pretty well as well. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Particularly the 7000 PC 7000 going to have on the stand. Seen one before, but still stops you in your tracks. Mystery Machine, Dan Cullen reckons it could be a Hitachi ZW40. It's not, but you're on the right path. You're on the right path. Keep those guesses coming in. I'll tell you what, let me show you a smidge more. Doesn't really help that much. Dan Cullen says, Komatsu are fans of you. Not as much as I'm a fan of them. Let's put it like that. But yeah, as I say, we've got a very good relationship with them. They're just nice and easy to deal with. Really, we've had to draw up, and I will be telling those that are interested about this at some point. We've had to draw up content creator or influencer contracts to deal with some of the companies, not at their request, but we hadn't dealt with them before, and we wanted to make it very clear what we were going to do and what we weren't going to do, and so on. Komatsu, let's just turn up. There's all our machines. There's all our people. Enjoy. That's how I prefer it. Really is. We're going to be right back after this with a slightly longer film. So stick around.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
I think we're all slightly guilty of kind of overlooking what goes into making a thing. If you drove to work this morning, what went into making the car that got you there? What went into making the road that car travelled on? The machine that you may be sat in at the moment, all the work that went into that. And we'll be talking about that in terms of construction itself at the end of the show. But there's a new film from the fine folks at Hydrema, which basically follows the route of a section of steel as it comes into the factory and then goes out the other end as a product, a living, breathing machine. The film's 8 minutes long, but I think it's worth it. Enjoy.
Perfect.
Pretty smart, right? It feeds into the morning monologue. It's just a pure fluke, but I want obviously all the work that goes into making a machine like that. And you think about all the work that goes into a bridge, a tower block, a road, a nuclear power station, whatever it is. That's going to be talking about after the show. Let's have a look. Let's go back to the mystery machine. We've had lots of guesses. We've got that from Dan. The Hitachi ZW40. It's not. It's not a ZW75-6. It's not a Devellon. It's not a Hitachi ZW50. It's not a Hitachi ZW30-5B. It's not a ZW140. It's not one of those. It's not one of those. It's none of those. You're very, very close. I'll tell you that. Particularly Dan, very close. Let me show you a smidge more. There you are. Does that help at all? Just while you're doing that, going back to our question of the day today, which is, what 3 apps would you like to retain on your phone if you could only have 3? And Jim Turner is going for LinkedIn, eBay, and YouTube. Very tough call because Facebook Marketplace is on par with eBay nowadays. Can't say I use either of them, to be perfectly honest, but yeah, interesting point. Has eBay lost its way? I remember early days used to buy all manner of old crap on eBay for no good reason whatsoever. But yeah, haven't used that for quite some time. There is the mystery machine. You've had a bit more. There's not a lot more I can show you. So while you're figuring that out, let me play a bit of this, and then we're off into the skies with Liebherr. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother to say we don't do cranes because we quite clearly do cranes from time to time. I try to avoid them traditionally because Tristan Mays does things a whole lot better than I do. But things are a little untidy at Crane Hub at the moment. I'm sure it'll all come out in the wash. But so while they're doing what they're doing, I thought I'd show you this.
Hey Philip, we are ready now. Are you ready? Yes, we are ready. Can we put up the boom? Alright? That's great. Okay, that's it.
In Turkey, single-blade installations are frequently carried out. For this project, we installed the complete wind turbine, including Rotostar. The complete Rotostar load on the crane was about 130 tons. We completed this installation here without any problems. The LR 1700-1.0 will make all wind turbine installations in Turkey possible. We have a configuration that can be easily installed. We've opted for the 126-meter configuration for this project. The Saralar Group has a comprehensive fleet. The mutual compatibility of the machines of this fleet is identical. The use of boom parts in different crawler cranes is a decisive element for us. On this crane we can use the fixed jib from the Liebherr LR 1600. That was one of the most important reasons why we opted for the LR 1700-1.0. Another important and valuable topic for us is the pad-to-pad time between the turbine sites. We've seen here that the work using the LR 1700-1.0 is the same as with the predecessor model. Fast pad-to-pad is thus possible, just like with the Liebherr LR 1600. And with the LR 1700-1.0, we reach greater heights and can achieve heavier loads. With the V-frame, we could extend or retract the suspended ballast to the desired length. This is a major benefit for us. On several crane models, a mechanical extension must be installed to achieve the maximum derrick radius. Meters and centimeters don't play an important role in the V-frame. We can use the V-frame to adjust the derrick ballast to the front or to the rear as required for the application. We're very satisfied with the support and service provided by Liebherr. It was important for us that the Liebherr service team provides us with the entire information on the crane and its configuration from A to Z. When service is needed, the technical team from Liebherr works in coordination with our crane team. At this point, I'd again like to thank you for your interest in the Saralar Group and your attention.
Liebherr really do make some fantastic videos, don't they? Going back to the discussion about eBay. eBay is full of new stuff, and I'm usually on the lookout for old or second-hand gear. Yeah, I have to say, eBay for disposable T-shirts, for going off on holiday or tramping around Balma or something like that. Always use it for that, or you used to use it for that. Just hanging my nose over an old 10-ton tipper for using around our place. Good luck with that. I can tell you we do actually have a winner on our mystery machine as well. Mick says, some bit of kit, highly impressed, as you should be. And our friend Wolfie has just said, question of the day, what 3 apps would you retain? Discord, YouTube and Facebook. I can't get my head around Discord. As a live streamer, I am encouraged to use Discord. Can't. It's too much chaos for me. But if we're talking about just the bare essentials for apps, I'd need my banking app, my progressive insurance app, and my members first insurance app. See, he's taking it seriously. I'm just happy to be able to send a message to somebody. Let's have a look. Going back to the mystery machine, I can tell you that we do have a winner. He hit the post a couple of times. There's Dan Cullen going for the Hitachi LX130. He also went for the LX80. It's neither of those, but he went in the middle and he got it right. Excuse me. Oh, do excuse me. He got it right. It is, in fact, the Hitachi LX110. And just to prove it, let me take Dan out of the way for just a moment. There it is, the LX110 from Hitachi in glorious Hitachi orange. I want to sneeze again. Oh, do excuse me. That's not a good start. I'm off to the land of the tulip in a moment. That's going to be bad news. So yes, Dan Cullen, you've got your 3 points. You've just stepped up a little bit closer to me. Gary Muirhead says our turbine blades on this site are 64 meters long, and we're having to alter all the roads coming in to the site to help with delivery. 64 meters. Yeah, I mean, there are abnormal loads, and then there are abnormal loads, and that is most definitely an abnormal load. Mick says, question of the day, have enough trouble using my phone at my age, so none of the bloody things. I'm getting there. I used to have page after page after page of apps, including games and stuff like that. All of that's gone. I'm now down to, well, I've got 3 pages of apps, but the first page I've got into folders. So all my social media stuff is in one place. All my video editing stuff is another. I very rarely look at the back end. Very, very rarely look at the back end. So congratulations, Dan. Well done on that. Balma. It's time to have a look at somebody else at Balma. In fact, we looked at one of the things that Lugong were doing at Balma on Friday last week. Well, they've come up with a new Balma video, which I'm going to be showing you just after this.
We do, I doubt it. We've got the energy, we'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, before I get to this, some sage advice from Mr. Gary Muirhead, who says, never go on eBay when you've had a drink. Yes, remember buying that carton, that pallet of Mars bars? I've not done it, but I think I've hovered over it once in a while. Tell a lie, still got the concrete reckoner on mine. Sod knows why. Old habits. Dan Cullen says, ha ha, Gary, I used to be the same. Yeah, it is a dangerous place to be. My mother-in-law, who is, she is She's in her 80s, bless her. And she spotted, I think it was a dress or a skirt on the Temu app. And the skirt was, I think it was like 10 quid, something like that. So she ordered it. And her bill came to £141, and she bought pretty much an entire wardrobe. To this day, none of us can work out quite how she did it, but that's what she did. Yes, I promised you somebody else. Well, Lugon at Balmer. This is just some of what they're going to have on display. That's one of the very few companies in the top 10 of the world that we're not working with at Balmer, but we're fair to all, even though they're not going to bung us any money. There you are. That's what Lugong have got coming up. Somebody that is bunging us money is the sponsor of this part of the show, our mission to Munich, and it's MB Crusher, like this.
Turn this TV off. Ain't want my type activity, don't you get involved. Hey, what? How many shit I seen? Send them off. Take a risk or take a trip. You know I'm tripping for my dog.
Dan Cullen just said, I remember the 950 at Hillhead, PP O'Connor in 2022. Indeed, it blew a seal. Yeah, there was one of the big excavators from Komatsu actually blew a seal at Balmer 9 years ago, possibly even 12 years ago. You've never seen so much hydraulic fluid in your life. It was like Niagara. Right, that's about it for the main part of this morning show. I'm going to remind you very quickly, I'm not here tomorrow and Wednesday, back on Thursday. But don't forget, some dates for your diary. Sunday, the 23rd, we'll be doing that, 10 o'clock in the morning. Wednesday, the 26th, 7 o'clock in the evening, we'll be doing that. So I am trying to keep the flow going, even if I'm not here to do the flowing, as it were. So that's about it for the main part of this morning show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into my morning monologue. If you can't stick around for that, do please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. I hope to see you again very soon, ideally on Thursday, because that's when I'm back. But if you do have the time and the inclination, I will return forthwith immediately after this. When an architectural practice is given the green light on a construction project, there's often a party. I know, I've been to a few. One of my friends is an architect. Off they go for a spot of fine dining and self-gratulation, partly because their vision will now be realised, and partly because their fee will boost the company's coffers really quite nicely. This is a process that is repeated again when a main contractor is appointed. They'll issue a press release proclaiming their selection over their major rivals before heading off to yet another fine dining establishment to simultaneously pat themselves on the back and to quaff champagne. Assuming their contribution is of sufficient size, specialist subcontractors might also throw a small party to celebrate being selected to be part of this notable scheme. And then, when the project is at or near completion, there'll be yet another party, a topping out ceremony or a ribbon cutting. All the high rollers involved in the project will be there. In all likelihood, there'll be a local councillor there too, basking in the reflected glory as if they'd made some vital contribution to the contract, even though everyone knows that the local authority hindered the works at every possible turn. Parties at the beginning of the project, parties at the end. But like a sandwich consisting purely of 2 slices of bread, there's an important element that has been overlooked. The part that brings it all together, the middle, the meat in the construction contract sandwich. Where is the party for the men and the women that actually had boots on the ground? Where is the champagne for those with dirt on the boots that actually brought this complex and demanding project to fruition? Where was their invitation when details of the topping out ceremony went out? And while some at the top end of the business marked their contribution with several hours of fine dining and equally fine wines, those that did the real work barely had time to scarf down a bacon roll before being shouted at to get back to work. The truth is, while the topping out ceremony is going on, many of the workers that delivered the project will be heading for another site, or worrying if they will get the chance. Some will be scrutinising their electronic banking system, hoping and praying they get paid by the very people now slurping champagne. And some may even be nursing cuts, grazes, and injuries sustained while working to meet unreasonable deadlines not of their making. There's no podium for them, no speech in their honour. Their names will not be etched into a commemorative plaque or printed in a glossy brochure. The foreman, if he's lucky, might get a handshake. A site manager might get a nod of approval from a director who has barely set foot on site. But the rest? The steel fixers, the bricklayers, the labourers, the plant operators, the electricians, the scaffolders, and every other soul who sweated through long days and bitter nights, they will walk away unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. The irony is that when those in suits arrive for the grand opening, they will marvel at the polished floors, the seamless glass facades, the smooth concrete finishes, as if they had conjured them into existence with their vision alone. They will speak about the legacy and impact, about the boldness of the design and the brilliance of the engineering, with no thought whatsoever for the men and women who risked life and limb to build it. They'll sip their champagne and toast each other's success, oblivious to the hands that bled, the backs that ached, and the minds that battled exhaustion and danger to make their dream a reality. And then, when the last glass is emptied and the last canapé is gobbled down, they'll go home. The architects will move on to their next concept. The contractors will chase their next bid. The investors will eye their next return. And the workers, they'll step onto another site, another set of blueprints, another unforgiving deadline. Their work is never ending, their effort constant, yet their recognition non-existent. There'll be no medals, no grand applause, no lines of gratitude written in history books, just another project, another job, another cycle of toil. And when their bodies are broken from years of labour, when their hands shake from years of strain, there will be no gilded retirement, no generous send-off. The industry that thrived on their sweat will move on without a second glance. So, raise your glass, you who sit at the top, and toast your success. But remember, the ones who truly built this won't be there to join you. There'll be someone else. Do that again. There'll be somewhere else. Boots laced, hands calloused, working tirelessly, so that someone else, someday, can celebrate yet again without them. There you are. Thought my nose wouldn't let me down, but there you are. The contribution of the men and women of construction that goes unrecognised time and time and time again. Mick just said, "Stay safe, gents. The fellas are on their way to pick me up for breakfast and a glorious pub crawl. Should be sobered up by Thursday's show." It's going to be a good pub crawl. I'm actually, I'm going to do this very quietly. A friend of mine is retiring this week. We're off on the Bermondsey pub crawl this week. I'll tell you more about that. I mean, obviously, I don't drink, so but nice and easy for me. We used to laugh and poke fun at Chinese equipment, but I think they've got the last laugh. I think you're right. Gary Muirhead says, "Safe travels, my friend, and haste ye back." I will do my level best. Yeah, back on Thursday, and they certainly do, Gary. Jim Turner says, "We don't need a party. We had fun every day building it. It's us that have the good jobs. We can speak our minds, be un-PC, mess about and have a laugh. Them suits and clean coats can't do that." Yeah, you know what I'm saying, though, right? You know what I'm saying. It's a bit like, you know, when you go back to football, you know, you get the manager of the month award. It's a concept unfamiliar to me because I support West Ham and we don't often get those. But there is a manager of the month award. But what about the players that actually put in the graft? What about the backroom staff, the physios, and the girl that serves the tea in the morning? What about all of those? Where's their monthly award? Gary Muirhead says, "We may not be the leading actors in the movie, in this movie of life, but just the extras. But without us, the show can't go on. Where's our Oscar?" Yeah, Yeah, I know when we did the first tranche of demolition awards, we did try to recognise some of those people, and a few people have cottoned on to that. You know, we now have Apprentice of the Year and so on down the line. And I understand that, and I understand it's an opportunity for organisations to get some sponsorship money in to make themselves a few quid so that they can nod in the right direction of a young person and stuff like that. But the day to day, I mean, I've been to topping out ceremonies, and often the topping out ceremony takes place while there is still work going on. It's only, you know, the final touch up work and stuff. But you arrive suited and booted. There's a free bar, bottles of champagne, and we're, you know, oh, isn't this lovely? Isn't this fantastic? And there's some poor bugger running around like a blue-ass fly with his arse hanging out of his jeans, high vis that looks like should be burned at the stake, and no recognition that, you know, the architect, oh, fantastic job. The engineers, oh, fantastic job. The contractor that did the job, oh, fantastic job. The man on the ground, never mind. Never mind. We don't worry about those. It's the way it is. Anyway, people, I've got an hour and 10 minutes before my car arrives. So I'm going to pack up now. I'm going to go off and make sure I've packed everything that I need to have packed. And I will be back on Thursday. I'm hoping, I mean, I don't want to do that cliche of filming myself at the airport and filming out of plane windows, but I am planning, hoping to be able to vlog some of what I'm doing over the next few days, bit of a behind the scenes, which I'll be bringing to you at some point in the future. So keep an eye out for that. Final point is no show tomorrow, no show Wednesday, but we'll be back on Sunday with that. We'll also be back next Wednesday with that. And I'll be back here on Thursday for whatever the hell this has been. Till then, everybody, have a fantastic day. Look after yourselves. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day if you're celebrating. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day even if you're not. You know, having to get dressed up sounds like torture. There is that. That that is a very good point. That is a very good point. And the older I get, the less inclined I am to do. I mean, I've got some absolutely belting suits in my wardrobe, but I'm not looking for any opportunity to wear. I mean, I'll be suited on Friday, obviously for a funeral, but and Jim Turner says I'd rather be grafting in my scruffs. I'm sure he's got a language all his own, but I know exactly what you mean, Jim. Everybody, go and have a fantastic day. I'll see you on Thursday. Until then, part of my set has just collapsed. I'll see you on Thursday. Until then, everybody, look after yourselves. See you soon.